Be okay with a hint at the same
Yes, I'm
time?
okay with the
Five
hint.
letters.
Do you want to hint about these numbers because they're just so odd?
Sure.
Sure. Sure.
Well, I'm going to give you a freebie, and then I'll give you another one. My free hint is Angelina Jolie
Kids.
Brad Pitt.
and tattoos.
Vietnam. I don't know.
Billy Bob Thornton.
Oh,
Angelina Jolie and tattoos.
I don't know what her tattoos
Are these
That's my free one.
Are
It doesn't
these
count for this one.
coordinates?
Yes. Yeah, go for it. Here we go. Angelina Jolie
longitude and
tattoo.
latitude?
Angelina Jolie and tattoo.
This almost like if you start, even though we don't have enough.
Oh, here we go.
Like aisle.
So is it latitude,
Picture.
longitude, longitude?
Right, but we can't start with a 9 because.
I know.
Pictures of Angelina Jolie and tattoos.
and their coordinates.
Oh. Look at that.
She's got latitudes. With her GPS
Yeah, but
coordinates.
there's this, can you plug those in?
Okay, so let me do this. 51, 22, 46. Oh, shit.
What nourishes me destroys me. She had a tattoo done in the presence of her mother. This cross
Oh, I got these.
tattoo covers a little dragon with a blue tongue that she had done
I
in
wonder if those
Amsterdam.
are. I wonder if those are.
What nourishes me
Coordinates.
destroys me.
Water.
That's weird.
Yeah, water. It keeps coming
But
back
it's-
to water.
The water's poisonous. Water's gotta be
What
somewhere.
nourishes me destroys me, exactly. And Flint, that's exactly what
That
happened.
was what happened in the, yeah.
And does water not
Water-
work for the letter lock?
No, because
Unless
it's
we
no.
try it again, like it's dicey, maybe? There is. You can spell water with that letter lock. I did do
I'll
that.
try it.
What are the
But, might
GPS
just be
coordinates
glitchy.
on her? She's got tattooed on there. Does that have a meaning?
Her tattoos
No,
do
I
not
don't
mean anything,
Oh,
but what she's tattooed means
Coordinates?
something.
What?
oh,
Say that again?
So the so
What her
coordinates.
yeah, her tattoos alone.
the GPS
aren't
coordinates.
not a hint, but
It
what
lines up
she
with
puts
that right
on
there.
herself is the
I'm
hint.
assuming. 'cause
What
it's
she
there
does
and
put on
there.
herself is the hint.
So she has
So
GPS
Those
coordinates.
Coordinates.
So maybe is
That's
that
your hint, they're
is
coordinates.
so maybe that's coordinates on a map or something.
Okay. Let me go back. So 51.
So those 52, 22, those are coordinates. And put the letters attached to those. North,
They don't have any
south.
letters.
46.
And then this
You
maybe
can
the other
have a
coordinate.
coordinate without
You
letters.
can if it's a specific type of
30,
coordinate.
Okay, you guys, those are coordinates. You're putting them on the map.
06. 50.
Well, I have one right here.
Angelina tattoos,
Give it a drop.
these are the coordinates of each of her child's
Birth origin.
Zero
birthplaces.
results.
Give address.
Oh, what are their kids' name? Maybe
But remember, what she, though, that is not it. Just,
But it's just
that you
coordinates.
figured out that they're
But
coordinates.
these
is the
are
hint.
coordinates, so
Yes.
we have to find out where those are.
They're-
Oh, so
Well, the
are
thing is,
those,
they're not coming up though.
are those numbers coordinates?
That's what we're
No
thinking.
Yeah.
resolved address.
what are the? Can we figure out the coordinates on the disasters?
Yes, because it's here on the map.
Did we got the north, south, east, west one open finally?
Did you guys know there's a whole
Oh, what about
another
this?
section of Michigan? It's not even attached to the mitten.
Did we try that?
But why is the one right out in
The
the middle of the
Gulf
Gulf?
Lines, so
It's
what are the
Well,
coordinates
there's
of
no
the?
eye on that.
it's a-
dial.
in the middle of.
At least not that I could see. So I felt like the eye had to go in the middle.
15. Those don't seem like.
Okay, I'm gonna give a hint.
One more hint.
Okay.
Here it
I'm gonna
is.
give, this is just my freebie, not using one of these, is that maybe not all of the letters, I mean, okay, so the letters work there that you have, maybe there's just an extra at the end.
So aisle, ISLE.
ISLE.
That's what I was thinking,
But there's no eye on the
No.
first thing, so.
So
No,
maybe
You guys have already said the word once.
Elsie.
The LESI.
This is a mystery, this is a, oh my gosh, what do you think?
L Whatever the letters.
L-E-S-I, and I can only be in the third place, because that's the only place it is
Only
on
in
the
the third
dial.
place.
Punch it in on your phone and see what comes up on that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
As you put in L-E.
Just use your
Just go
four letters
L-E
right now and find a word.
S-I.
ISLE, but that's
So
not.
the I has
so
to
that
be
can't
where?
that.
In the
third.
center, because that's the only place there is an I.
It
third.
has to be the third letter?
How much time do you guys have left?
We have
Seal.
5 and 5.
How much time do you have left?
How about S-L-I?
Did you guys get it?
Aisle.
Everybody's got it,
What
right?
about
Aisle.
slice?
We have not even gotten close.
S-L-I-C-E.
We have a minute on it.
I did
L-E-S.
slide.
We have 14 minutes.
Okay.
There's no C.
And we all have the
C?
same
What
breakout
letters
game?
In the fourth position.
All the rooms are the same.
N-R-T.
They got it? Did you use your hints?
Everybody's done it so far.
A.
Did you use your hint cards?
Everybody, all the other rooms are done?
Did you use your hint cards yet?
No, not yet.
Yeah.
Oh.
They've asked for one. They've only asked for one hint card.
Maybe we should ask for another
We
hint.
don't have the second one.
Let's have a
We need
hint.
the second hint card.
We need the second hint.
Everybody requested it once.
We want a hint.
We need
They're all
it.
Done.
Okay,
Yes,
ready?
please.
Okay, guys.
We're the buzzard group.
Second hint.
Everyone else is all done?
Come on, you guys. Second hint card.
Oh, this is.
Okay, let's hear the second hint. I'm
You
all
guys
for
want the
it.
second hint?
It's lies.
Lies. Oh, how did we?
So we didn't have to have I as the third place.
Lies?
guess
Second and
Oh.
third, there was one in there.
So yeah, we walked out. So
So now we
Now what else do
need,
we have?
How can
We just
lies
have
be
the
if
4.
I's and.
We need to
Because
find
there
four
was another-
Yeah, there
numbers.
was another I,
there was
but I
another
guess I
I,
didn't
the second
see.
one.
Oh, well then.
You need to go back to your
That
coordinates.
just changes it all.
You're not
Yeah,
going,
yeah.
that's what you need next to your coordinates. You need
Okay.
to know what those GPS coordinates.
GPS.
Right, I'm looking for G, but it wants to download an app for me, and I don't want to download.
No, can we? Is there?
Put it on the-
What's left on the box? Which?
4 numbers,
It's the 4
sorry.
numbers.
4
So we can't do GPS on that one.
Topo zone.
50,
Here's my topo zone.
22,
51, 22,
46.
Oh, come on, sweetie.
46, 30.
So if we add all those together, it might give us.
Another hint is do not add it.
265.
Do not add.
Do not add them.
Do not add.
What are you
Are
looking
there
up,
only
Ray?
4 digits there?
Yeah.
I'm
Are
trying to
there
get online to
repeating
do this
digits? So
GPS
what if
coordinate
we
business,
did,
but it's not. Google is not letting me.
5,
do
2,
something.
4, 3, maybe?
Well, no, I think that's something to do with the coordinates.
Okay, here we go.
Did you put them in there?
Where though?
Okay, so someone give me the GPS coordinates again.
51,
Oh,
22,
hold on.
51,
51,
22,
22,
46,
46, and
30.
and 30,
And then the next two were
06, 50.
50.
But the 0650 could be her,
Well, it's 06.
her graduation.
That's minutes. That's minutes. That's the degrees, the minutes, and the seconds.
Android apps.
Say it again, 51.
51, 22.
46, 36, and 50.
Man, if we just had a globe, huh? If we just had a globe, we could go, huh. That's not, I mean, we're talking, that's, 'cause we're at 45.
Five and 1 is 6, 2 and 2 is 4.
Did you get the coordinates?
It's not in math at all.
Handy GPS.
Oh yeah, that was the.
How about if you just do first digit?
All right, so.
We're working.
We're gonna cut you off.
You are cutting us
No.
off.
Yeah.
You can't.
Lorna said I have to.
22.
How close are you?
They're just trying to
You
put the
have one
GPS coordinates in.
Oh, well, okay.
Okay, so,
We're right there.
I can't figure out how to do this.
GPS for
There you go. We're
Get
almost
it?
there. There.
Okay, we're
did you find something else on that flash drive?
She's right there. Whole Foods.
What are we near?
What are you near?
What are we near?
Chernobyl.
Oh
Kiev.
Chernobyl.
Nuclear power plant.
Chernobyl. What are the coordinates of Chernobyl? What's the GPS coordinate of Chernobyl?
We already got the coordinates for
We already have the
Chernobyl,
coordinates.
so we need something else important about Chernobyl.
How about the date?
The date that, yeah, what month and year was that?
Month and day.
Chernobyl was what month and what year?
Reactor number 1, partial
April
meltdown.
26, 1986.
1986.
486.
It's for
It's a four-digit.
Oh,
Oh, is it 4?
It's a 4
Oh,
digit.
486.
April of '86. Is that the only important dates?
No. What's the date?
September 9th, 82.
No, you have more numbers than you have here.
426. Oh wait, what number, how many are we going for?
Four letters. I mean, four numbers.
1986.
It was 1986.
Oh, 486?
I'm doing,
0426.
It was 1986.
I'm doing 0486. That's not it.
Change your 8.
Oh, my 8 wasn't quite.
Change it.
We're a bunch
80?
of losers.
No.
I hate that.
Oh,
April
it's
26,
86. Sorry, that was on.
042686.
And can't read.
0.
86. 0486.
486 or
That's an-
04. The other one. 26.
26? Why 26?
Because it's the 26th of April.
26th of April. April 26,
Oh, April 26.
1986.
Okay. Whoopsie. Yeah, April 26.
42686.
No, sorry,
would
they're-
that be?
These are hard little things
Nice.
to.
426. There.
Oh, 4.
Should be it.
What other
You're
dates?
two
What other
off.
dates are on there with Chernobyl? Was that the main
Oh,
meltdown?
maybe we're going the other way. Maybe
Yes,
it has-
April
426.
26, 1986.
Oh, 480s. I was reading it
Is there
back.
any other-
80.
Oh, 4,
26.
The partial reactor 1 had a partial meltdown in 82.
2,
September 9th.
6. Oh,
The
426.
biggest one was on April 26th.
You got it
Maybe the
open.
number.
Oh, it did come up.
Got it open. April 26, 1986.
Okay, let's go back.
If you were the first crew to save the world and unlock the box, your prize will be the beginning of helping to save our environment. Check with Kendra to see who got the
What if
fastest
we're
time.
not?
It was not us.
We get a perseverance award.
You did good. I don't think we did badly.
Did we do it within
Yeah,
45
just
minutes?
leave everything the way it is, guys.
Yes,
It's
we
fine.
did, because we still had more time than were going to cut us off.
Man, it's just grab Jill,
So we're all
say, give
winners.
us a-
It sounds to me.
Pull out the old
Well, that was fun.
guns.
Kids would have a good time with that.
Thank
It would be
you.
terrible.
Except
I
for the
could not
class,
teach
my
her.
class.
Yeah.
Can you imagine? With a class of 30?
But there are.
Yeah, but when you have 30, you break them up into groups.
And how did
But
you do?
need 2 boxes?
You guys are actually, these are part of the raffle.
Oh.
Yeah. So how
You
do
guys
you
get some of these.
and how do you program these?
There's,
I just ordered locks.
these you can do, yeah, you have to do some certain thing to clear it, and then you program them. Kendra did all of the programming of the lock,
Because I was playing with it before we brought them up here.
Yeah.
And I.
but she's done all that, so she knows how to do that part.
It's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Cards.
They would not ask for any hints.
So the key is to. We have to ask for him. Is this your phone here? Is this
Yeah,
somebody?
that's
Okay.
me.
Okay. You're also. So that in the flash drive, I think
Yeah,
is still.
and I'm in here for my next thing, so
Okay.
I'll just stay.
Great. Very fun.
It'd be fun. It's like a lot of time you want to prep for that.
Well, if they send them all up for you, I think you go to that website and get them. Yeah, probably.
That was really fun.
And we were the farthest.
These are environmentally safe and good.
So I don't know, but it was only a 30-second difference.
I'm gonna do a little bit of debrief. Okay, we're gonna go over this right now. Okay, listen up. You're guys with me? I know it's hard to transition after that. It's hard to transition with your kids, so be aware that you might want to do that when you don't have them for the rest of the week. So I used to, just for your own knowledge, use this in my classroom, and it is very hard to do with 30 kids. So if you have a class of 30, my recommendation is tape the room in half and have 2 boxes. And just go in the middle and kind of stay in the middle, okay? That's just how I used it, because you can imagine you had 12 people in your room, and at times it can kind of feel like some people are not doing things if you have that many people involved. The boxes that you use, you'll be able to check out from the county, so if you want to use it in your room, you can check it out here and we can loan it to you. I'm going to show you where to get all of the games, because this is not the only game. Now, I didn't tell the last group, but this was a junior high level game. So,
As if I wasn't low enough.
I would say that the high school level games are really hard. So even if you teach high school, don't start with a high school level game for the first one. You want to start them off a little lower so they understand kind of the point of the game. Students aren't asked very often to go figure it out on their own, so you kind of have to train them in that. So I'd love to kind of get your feedback. I want to make sure that you know this does connect to standards. This wasn't just fun and games. We have 2 standards that it connects to. The first one being the most prevalent, it says, apply scientific principles to design a method for monitoring and minimizing a human impact on the environment. Now, my group had a question. They said, how did those articles get brought in? Like, how did they even get into the game? Does anybody remember how those articles connected?
The quiz.
So they had to pass a quiz, and what did that unlock?
Info.
Yeah, it unlocked the map to tell them what directions they went to. So that's kind of where you put in the content in an exciting way, but wasn't it all really themed back to that environmental impact? So these games are already created for you, but you could create your own games if you wanted to do that. I would say you definitely want to play this a couple times before you try to create your own games, because they kind of get choppy if you don't make them all the time. We have it related to another standard. It says evaluate competing design solutions for maintaining biodiversity and ecosystem services. What's really funny is that key. So how did you guys get the key out? The glove. So it was supposed to be.
There's no glove.
That's why you lost. There was a glove.
We used scissors.
All came down to the glove. You're not my glove.
Yeah, it was for radioactive material. So there was supposed to be a magnet, but then we found out that the keys were not magnetic. So it was funny because my group goes, we need a magnet, and they're not magnetic. So just be aware, make sure you play the game before. So let's debrief this, guys. Where was the glove?
Where was the glove?
There was. It was in the blinds. It was in your blinds. I put it there. Okay.
It's in my blind spot.
Okay, I want to see how we could use this in our everyday, because it's really fun to play, but how are we really going to use this in our classroom? And as a team, we kind of came up that we would probably most often use it as an introduction to a unit or a conclusion to a unit. So I'm going to give you guys 3 to 4 minutes to figure out how could you use this as an intro to a unit, or how can you use it as a check for understanding or end of lesson assessment. So take 3 to 4 minutes, and I'm going to ask you guys to share out how could you really use this in your room. Okay, let's share out some of what you are saying for how you would use it in your own room. So whether that's with groups or with pre-unit or post-unit, what are some things that you guys decided upon as a table. I heard norms. What is it, norms? No? Cricket. How would we use it?
We talked a lot about how it changes the dynamics of the groups of your students. The personalities, you can see the different personalities come out. Like in our group, we saw something on the computer and like, oh, that's what that is. And I had no idea what it was, but for someone else, they have that background. And then also we talked about how you can use a simple one and then actually debrief it specifically to talk about what are the different roles different people play and what were the different strategies that were used.
Part of what I was thinking too, to engage everybody, is if you had 5 locks, you have to say, okay, you can only undo 1 lock. To make somebody go, okay, all right, Dave, here's how you're gonna do it, and then they explain it to you so that not one person can just do 3 or 4. They don't, once you do 1, you can help, but you're not allowed to. The way you're gonna do it.
I definitely think there needs to be some ground rules, because as I was in a room trying to figure out what was going on, I'd hear somebody say, oh, that's it, and then everybody would cheer because the lock opened up, and I had no idea what that it was. And so I'm thinking, oh, I would have been so much better off if people would have said, okay, let's have a group meeting and we'll discuss this new piece of evidence and this new finding, and then we'll see if it works. And then everybody's on the same page.
Takes more time.
What's kind of neat
Yeah, but it
is
wouldn't
the
be
more
worth
you
it.
do them, that kind of naturally happens. It's kind of fun to watch the kids naturally come to that on their own. You know, my favorite part about doing this, it's a ton of prep work, but then you just sit back. And I mean, talk about, you know, these kids have to really take charge. And that's kind of what was fun about this is, you know, all the work setting it up, but then watching them go through and do that. And that's where the more they do it, the more they naturally, you know, they're learning all those great problem-solving things and working together.
I was gonna say, because in my room, I'm in community day school, so I have anywhere from kindergarten to 8th grade at one time. And so I think it would be easier, because the little guys are just gonna get run over. So what I would think is like, each kid has their own clue that on their own, they have to solve their own clue and get a whatever number from it or a word from it or whatever. And then they can bring all those clues together and try to solve it. Because if there's nothing for them to do on their own, I think the group will just run over the little guys, and they won't get to participate at all.
Yeah. And you can set those ground rules. I will say that I found it more successful to have them fail the first time we did it, and then have people speak up about those conversations. So like, hey, I didn't actually do anything. And then talk about, hey, next time how can we more effectively break up our groups and more effectively solve these clues so that everyone feels included. But I think the first time you do it, just do what we're doing right now with your kids and have this conversation, because they then develop some norms.
So then my question is, so what's the real objective? Is it content? Is it the cooperative learning? Because we've already talked about some of the issues with that. Is it being able to observe your students in some sort of a different kind of environment? So depending upon the objective, I don't know if it's the time investment, if you're gonna have to do it multiple times until you come to a cooperative level, and maybe that's what you need to do, because maybe the cooperative level that you get to is worth it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, I just didn't want to do it anymore once I was not privy to what was going on. And it's so, you know how it is when you go to a website and it's down. You don't go back. You know, you go someplace else. You do something else. You do something different. And if it's not geared for success, if that's not the outcome, then I don't know how that will really get to the ultimate goal.
One of the things I did with that is really hit them on failure. You know, failure is good, is the first step to learning, all of that. And then one of the ways I did that, because you've got, you know, an independent study, you got the high kids, you got the ones who don't do anything. I had, you know, the variety of activities, but I also had a couple worksheet type ones, because I know there are kids who have to work independently and who might not contribute a single thing, but I gave them some, you know, if you're lost, hey, at least you've got a worksheet here and you can work through that. So that was something that was helpful. So when you're designing these or using them, make sure that all styles of learners and, you know, as you're going through looking at who is in my class, what does this kid need? That way it's something that kind of everyone can.
And that kind of gets to the independent thing.
Yeah.
I was gonna add that if you did part of it as a quiz, if you'd already taught this content, I definitely think you use it for content, and the kids can't get to the clue until they master it. So kids may have to do that independently, and then come back and then join forces. You could do something like that. So it could very much be content, and then the next clue is connected to your answering those questions.
So I want to show you one way to allow it to be more individual is to do the digital version. So these games are set up, they're not exactly the same, there's other games. Teachers get on and make digital breakouts, and if you didn't maybe experience, or maybe it just doesn't go the way you planned with the box in your classroom, it's exactly the same thing using the Google tools, but a digital version. So everyone does the same thing on their own computer. So they still get that experience of exploratory learning, but they enter the codes into their computer, and it doesn't unlock until they get the correct code. So both of these are linkable. If you click digital, and then scroll down, you can see all of the games. So just keep scrolling. There's tons and tons of them. It'll tell you based on difficulty levels, and then usually it'll tell you subject, but you can kind of usually tell from the title. This might be a good way to start before you have them play the game. Why don't you just click on one to see kind of how it's set up? Wait, which one did you go? It's breakoutedu.com/digital. So it's exactly the same thing. All the clues that you guys had around the room would just be clues that are linked in here, and then the codes are all here. So 4-digit number lock, 3-digit number lock, 2-word lock. They might have to explore maps. They might look at chemicals. It's really exactly the same thing, but digital. So this is a way to make sure every student has the same accountability. And you can have them work in teams of 4 if you want to break it down for smaller. And then there's all the setup with the box, but I will say that the box kind of sets a culture in your room, and you guys probably experienced that today. So the game that you played is not the only game that's available. All of the games are free, so once you have the box, you don't buy anything. So if we go back to the PowerPoint, you go to games. All you do is you search breakoutedu.com/games.
You guys have the link in the Padlet too.
Yeah, and then you can choose whatever one you want. So it's ages, ideal group size, content area. You click the game and the password is show your work with no spaces. It'll give you all the copies that you need to print, and it'll give you directions on how to set up the room.
So
It's
Kendra,
breakoutedu.com/games.
how long would you say, maybe you've already mentioned this, but how long did it take you to prep the whole game today with doing the locks and everything?
I'd say you need to plan for at least an hour to read the instructions, and the first time you do it, it's just going to take longer to reset the locks. So I'd say about an hour.
Just the password.
Just get back to it.
Yeah. The password is show your work with no spaces. And there's always games added, so always check back. Some are content related, some are not, some are just collaborative like skill building. So it's really whatever you need. And then again, we do have these for checkout. So if you'd like to check them out, just let us know.
They also have a big Facebook page where lots of teachers, you know, share stories, and it is one if you're on there. It's worth it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have two, actually we have 4 for checkout. So all you need to do to check out is just call our office and let Estelle know. And Estelle will tell you, and we have people that go to Chico. Kendra lives in Chico, and we have a couple other people that live in Chico. So if you're in that area, we can get it down to you.